Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with more This Week in Kyrix. This is for the week of Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018, but we're doing this, of course, on Thursday, August 23rd. As you can see, I have started Twic 2018 number 2. I went in creative, made a place for myself with all the basics and nothing else. Well, I have some other things, and that's okay. I don't care about the trophies. So, this is not in creative mode, this is in normal mode, and difficulty's on low, so there will be monsters. And I have little to no equipment. But let's take a quick explore around. I've got a bed, I've got windows, got torches, everything's brightly lit. I got 3 treasure chests, nothing in them. I got my thingy, I got my wall of ovens near my crafting bench. I have wooden tools and a weapon. Come outside, and we've got my outside. This is where I live. We got this, which is really cool, but I'll get to the... Oh, not this. This is not the cool thing. It's cool, but that's not the cool thing. That is my garbage bin, basically. I have a map. If you look down here, this is where I grow... Oh, dear. Oh, that's a lot steeper when I can't... Yeah, when I can't not die. But that's where I have melons and pumpkins growing. That is also my access to the world. Because if you look right there, there's a little bridge that extends that mountain. That's how I get up and down. Also, if you look down here, there's a lot of cool shit down there. Let's go look at that cool shit. Did I start the timer? I started the timer. Good. Alright, we go down here. Oh, look at how bright this is. This is magma surrounded by red glass. Because it's brightly lit that way. And I like that. Plus, it actively discourages creepers and shit from breaking my tube. Because if a creeper breaks it, they're fucking dead. Well, obviously they're dead, but so is everything else that tries to get near it. This is glowstone. This is gray glass, which will transition in a minute to blue glass as we go underwater. And, of course, there is glowstone down here. I couldn't figure out what to do with the rest of this. We'll get to that in a minute. Up here, we have trees. So I can... You know what? I'm going to do that now, actually. I'm about to say, so I can harvest trees without having to fuck with anything. I don't ever have to go outside. If I don't want to. So yeah, that's a thing. I have just this little terrarium as it is. You can't really see it, but it goes all the way up to just below the surface of the water. There is one block of water between this and the surface. You know, for reasons. I have some weird little thing on. It's some kind of weird wing pack. I don't know what it is. It was something new that one of the newer updates added. I had no idea what it was. I was intrigued, so I put it on. It's kind of a glider pack, I think. I barely know how it works. I think you have to double jump to use it. And in creative mode, when you double jump, you fly. So, I couldn't really make full use of it. But I'm going to give it a shot later on. But yeah, this is just to get me some wood. But aside from this very brief area, where I did chop up a lot of coal and iron, but no biggie, it was all underwater, almost all underwater, I have done no exploration of this place. This whole entire place is a mystery to me. I actually pondered, toyed with the idea, really, of going around and... Oh, what's the word? Of putting myself not in my base, you know what I mean? But I'm like, no, I'll just start there. I mean, I'm starting out with nothing as it is. So. Well, not nothing, I have tools. But I'm not really starting out, as far as my inventory, with anything I would have access to within the first 2 minutes of gameplay. I mean, that one tree I knocked down would have taken maybe 10, 20 seconds longer, and then I'd have had all the wooden tools I wanted and needed. I don't know why I kept the wooden hoe. There's no reason to. Because I can't do anything with it, really. You know what I mean? Well, you'll see what I mean. Basically, long story short, anything I could or would use it on is already in existence, as it were. So yeah, we did that. We got some wood. Almost a full brick of wood, so let's dip through, get some more of these. Yeah, we'll let that slide for now. I can get more later. Go down. If you notice, you can hear the sound of pigs. Also, green glass. And if we go all the way up, and I do mean all the way, we have my fields, which are not lit. Why aren't they lit? My dumbass probably forgot to light them. So yeah, those are carrots. These are potatoes. Despite it, it looks like it, but this is covered in blue glass. It looks like this is empty, but again, blue glass. These are, I believe, beetroot? Huh. They work interestingly. They apparently make thing and seed. And this is wheat. Yeah, I could have started with a full field, but I'm like, no, let's give myself something to build up to, as it were. And then if we go down here even more, but not all the way. Oh, that's a squid. We have my farm. I got the farm. Got 2 cows, 2 sheep, 2 pigs, 2 chickens. This was originally going to be a little bit different. Shit. What did I just throw? Back up. But yeah, this originally was going to be 3 paddocks on each side, but there wasn't a lot of room, and I realized I only had so many critters. And I'm like, no, you know what? Let's just do the classics. So back downstairs. So I have some food, as it were, like you do. We go back upstairs again. Oh, nope, not back upstairs. Back through the tunnel, then back upstairs. So yeah, this is basically what I've got to work with, you know? It's kinda cool, it's not the best, but it'll suffice. It'll get me to point B, you know what I mean? So, let's talk my week. Let's start with Pokemon. The second Pokemon on my little contest has been named, and it is Haxorus. So we got Electros, and Haxorus. It's an interesting combination, not a bad one, but we'll see where this goes from here. I lost again because no one really showed up for Little Cup. We had lots of people playing, but no one for Little Cup except for me and the one girl, who won again this week. But I handed out a bunch of Pokemon. I actually have to redeem a couple. I have to redeem my Xerneas / Yveltal builds soon. Not builds, cards. Because as it... Fuck. As it stands right now, they do not... they will be expired in 5 days. And gone forever. But if I redeem them, we will have them forever. Well, you have the misfortune of not being in my farm. What's with the arrow? Also, you're made of meat, so that's gonna suck. I'm sorry, little friend. But your body has meat in it, and I require... Ooh! Speaking of things I require. Some of this right here on the surface. Good shit, that. Because remember, at this point, I have no resources at all. So having some surface-borne coal and stone right here that I don't have to fuck around and dig for is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, stone's not that hard to get a hold of. It's just kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. But I did complete my my monthly battles, so I got my score up. Forgot to give him my player ID number, though. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not even sure what those points mean. The website points, not my own in-the-library points. I know exactly what those mean. I have started to read the Thrawn Alliance's audiobook, and I'm liking it. I keep forgetting how much of an asshole Vader actually is, and what a hot-blooded little shit Anakin was, really, when his friends were in danger for any reason. And I shouldn't forget it, it's kind of a primal point of his character, but it's being brought back into focus. So this was not me, this just looks like this. But yeah, you can see the red glass, it's just this giant spire that I can find from quite a ways away. Up top is my floating island, as it were. Let's dip down underwater real quick and I'll show off the giant cube of wet. And of course this is my what's it. And as you can see, aside from right here where the glass is blue, it's all green and it sits on a layer of glass. And you can see where the green turns to blue right there. Purely for visual aesthetics and all that. It's kind of cool. I know there's iron in this area just because I dug past some to build that. Don't quite want to fuck with this yet. Let's get some more resources. So, yeah, Pokemon's going pretty good. Next week is the Fairy/Steel type. I think I'm going to come at it with a whole bunch of Ultra Beasts, honestly, because I don't use my Ultra Beasts and my Tapus that much, and I really kind of wanna. It'll just be fun for me that way, I guess. And we'll see. Next week, of course, will be Little Cup again. One of the guys from the library actually ran into me yesterday when I was making a run to my friend's house to get my bike fixed. And he was asking me what... He called it Teacup, which is cute. But he was asking me basically what Little Cup was all about, and I gave him the bare bones of it, but I told him, ask me Tuesday, because my bus was, the door was open, and I kind of needed to get on it, I didn't want to hold him up to talk Pokemon. Mostly because it would have required me to sit and wait for another half hour. And my schedule was already kind of weird that day. But... So, we all know the real reason is procrastination, but we're going to pretend for a minute that I'm not a procrastinating piece of shit and that I know how to adult properly. And we're going to say that the reason I delayed yesterday doing this is because I had my Psych eval today for vocational rehab. And I wanted to tell all of you all about it. Now, we know that's bullshit, but let's pretend for a minute that it's not. Because it was part of it. I'm like, I kind of want to tell them about that, but it's also, wow, I'm really lazy and don't want to play Minecraft right now. So I went into my Psych eval and I actually got mildly panicked. Because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I swapped phones. I finally broke down, went to Metro and told them, hey, my phone sucks dick. And they're like, wow, okay, we're sorry that your phone sucks dick. Would you like to give us $16 to send you a new phone? Well, actually, that was their second question. Their first question is, would you like to pay $80 to upgrade? And I'm like, bitch, this was the upgrade. So they're like, oh, okay, would you like to pay $16 to get us a new phone? And I basically said, no, but I will. And the new phone does the exact same fucking thing the old phone did. And I am pissed, to say the least. I'm going to spend the next couple days figuring that shit out. But, I had a text message from the psychiatrist telling me about vocational rehab and whatnot. Like, oh, here's the address and the appointment time. And then, since they were taking the phone, it occurred to me, I never wrote that shit down. You know? And so, I quickly got the other phone back for a second, wrote it down. You know, it was on Central Avenue, and I'm putting the thing into my my Maps app just so that I know where the fuck I'm going. And it's asking me, oh, is that north or south? I'm like, oh, shit. I forgot to check. And it was, in fact, on north. That's what's zapping me. Okay, cool. It's a fucking wingsuit. I'm like, there's no way I should be taking damage from that hop. It's because I keep doing the glide function without meaning to. Well, that's going in a box before it gets me killed. So anyway, my bike, of course, since I fixed it yesterday, is already flat again. There's some kind of leak in there. I basically texted my friend. He hasn't replied yet, but I told him next month it is a priority that I get a new tire and a new tube. Because either something's wrong with that tube, like the leak this time, or the last time that we fixed yesterday, was my two of the old patches from way back when giving out. That's what that was. They just said, fuck it, they're done. You know? And it might be that there's something in the tire poking new holes in the tube that we just missed every time. Or it could be more patches failing, or those patches failing again. Could be a lot of things, and none of them are good. So I'm just gonna say fuck it and just get that taken care of, you know what I mean? But so I was going to take the bike and the bus pass up there, and I look at the thing, and I'm like, oh, it's not that far, so I'll just take the bus pass. And then, of course, I missed that bus, but the next bus that would take me, it's still pretty close, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just keep along this. And the bus out of there, this is bullshit. The bus out of there took so fucking long that I just said fuck it and walked. Like, I would have had to wait something like 35 minutes for one bus. There were two buses that would have taken me up there, but only one that would take me home at all. It's like, do you want to wait 35 minutes on this? I'm like, no, it'll take me 18 to walk home. And I'm going to be sitting in the heat anyway. It's not like I was in a shelter where I'd have, you know, shelter from the sun. I'd have been standing on a corner in broad daylight like a very confused hooker, just waiting on a big metal tube to take me to my destination. So, yeah. So that wasn't fucking happening. And, yeah, long story short, I walked home. Like you do. Like you would. I mean, who the fuck wouldn't have walked home in that case, right? And, no big deal. Nothing major going on. But the results are, turns out my math is a lot worse than I thought it was. He had me run through a variety of tests. It wasn't just psychological evaluation, like, oh, what's disability for you, etc., what's this, what's that. It was also academics tests, basically. And now I gotta go back upstairs and sleep. Yeah, it was also, like I said, academics tests to see what kind of aptitudes and skills and whatnot that I had. And I went through reading, spelling, reading comprehension, puzzle solving, which apparently I'm the first person to ever get them all right on the puzzle solving. Although, as he pointed out, he did say, like, oh, are you sure on that one? But he chalked that up more to a lack of attention on my part, like, there might be a red arrow that was the next thing, and a blue arrow, and I would pick the blue arrow pointing in the same direction, because my brain just kind of jumbled it, you know. But other than that, I got them all right, including the last one, which is a real bitch. As I pointed out to him, I basically just made a logical deduction. Like, there were these two symbols on a 3x3 grid. Like, one was a red circle, the other was a purple triangle. And there was no logical fucking pattern to them. At all. Like, in something, because it shows like 6 different things, and I have to guess what the 7th is, as an example. And they just, there's no progression to it. It's just, in one, they're next to each other, and one, they're opposite sides, and I'm looking at all these things thinking, what the fuck's the pattern? I even told him, I didn't even know what the pattern for this is. He's like, well, just make a guess. So I sat there and stared at it for literally 2 minutes. And I finally decided to just shoot from the hip and say, okay, I'm going to pick this one out of the 5 choices. Because I told him afterwards, after I made the choice, but the reason I made it was because in that particular section, neither symbol in that one had appeared in any other spot. Like, the circle was not anywhere else. The circle in my choice wasn't anywhere in those 5 things. It wasn't in the same spot. Same thing with the triangle. And it turned out that was the fucking pattern. It was just, they were all in random spots. Find the next random spot. And oh my god. And my math was horrible. I had to skip a whole fucking page because it was just algebra bullshit that I never understood. So basically he said, yeah, I think we can narrow down that you're not going to be an accountant and you probably shouldn't be a cashier. Which might help because most of the jobs I had applied to had been cashiers, so that's a thing. But we'll see what comes of that. And I was worried, the thing I was worried about was that I might not qualify for Vocab Rehab's, or Vocare's assistance. And he said, oh, you'll definitely qualify, and we should be able to, it's whether or not they can find anything in your skill set and whatever, but you definitely qualify. So that's one less worry on my plate. So today was very productive. Also, I learned that eggs can go stale. The roommate had some eggs that he got for something ages ago. And he basically told him, if you want these, you can have them because he doesn't eat eggs. Really. He got them for something. He did the something he wanted them for. And he was done for him, and unlike me, he doesn't just eat eggs. But we couldn't find the expiration date on him, and I actually found it today. The expiration date is best if used by August 4th, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, there are 9 eggs in here. I'll crack one open. If they don't smell evil, I will eat them. And they, in fact, did not smell evil, so I cooked them and ate them. Because I am a man of my word, damn it. But, they taste stale, and I don't have another word to describe it other than stale. I mean, they didn't taste rotten, and I don't feel sick even like an hour or 2 later. So I don't think they were bad, it's just they weren't good. It's really just that dumb and simple. And it could also be that I just cooked them really poorly, because I did. Like, I was trying to do another thing at the same time, and I kept, like, not burning them, but to the point where they would burn if I left them alone too much longer, kind of thing. So I kind of almost burned them a couple times, if that makes sense, and it doesn't, but let's pretend it does. So, the recording with Eisen got a little further this week. Only on Tuesday, though. And I have news on HeroClix. It turns out the HeroClix judge has decided to keep the day on Tuesday and make it even later. And then he's like, well, you could come up here with it. I'm like, no, I can't come up there. That's when I do my recording. He's like, well, those are your nubs. You should come with your friends. I'm like, you're my nubs and these are my friends. Well, you got to see what's more important. The game that I do play as opposed to the one I don't, you know? And I also told him, I'm like, dude, hey, my bike is down again, because I went Wednesday to get it fixed, so on Tuesday it was still broken. One moment. Wow, what a waste of my fucking time. We've been trying to reach you regarding your car's extended warranty. No, you haven't. I have never had a car. But, yeah, he's sitting there, I'm like, dude, my bike's down. Like, there's enough of a leak that I didn't trust it to get me to the fucking store. You know? The store that I consider nothing in the grand scheme of things as far as getting to. Like, I don't even consider it effort to go to the store. Oh my. That wasn't expected. And I didn't trust it to get me there, and he's like, oh, you should come up here. I'm like, dude, A, no, my bike's down. B, I don't see any reason to come to HeroClix, because I'm not going to play. I have no desire to play. I have no means to play all this shit, you know. And even if I did, you literally, by choosing Tuesday at later times, like, he basically had them start at 7:30 and run till 10, which, honestly, if I were still playing, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with. And the funny thing is, before I started recording with Eisen, that would have actually solved the problem, because I could have come home from Pokemon, rested a little bit, and then gone back up there and hang out with them. But I have the recording with Eisen in them, and I only have 2 recording sessions a week to get through a lot of shit. And I did actually tell him, which I'm not doing here, what we were recording. I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. But here's the other thing. All it takes is for Eisen, especially Eisen or me, to not be up to recording that night, and we miss a day. And he said, and I don't happen to agree on this, that it might be a couple days, or a couple weeks rather, before he can record again, because he's having work done on his kitchen. And my response is, dude, what crew is going to work at night on your kitchen? Who does construction at night, you know? I mean, I know there's road construction and shit at night, but not like this. Also, I want these. But yeah, the reason that's a problem is because the bus stops running around 7:50. So I would have 10 minutes up there with them and then right back on the fucking bus to get home. And not even that, because he never gets there on time. So I'd see everybody but him and Anubis, because Anubis rides with him. And basically I'm like, dude, I'm glad you guys are having fun. I'm glad you settled this up, you know. But I am not going to be a part of this. And I told him, even if I did come, it would be for something I'm not playing. And I think it's, after all this time, I think it's finally starting to sink in with him, that I am not playing HeroClix anymore. I'm done. I have surrendered. I have forsaken Clix. There's nothing left in it for me. You know? I mean, if he had chosen this on Wednesday or Thursday or any day other than Monday or Tuesday, with the schedule he has, I could have made it. I could have told him, hey, I'd be happy to come up there and be your judge for you, etc. I could do this. I'll just come hang out for a little bit, but... Because, see, here's the thing. I couldn't even do, like, do my recording and then come up there, because... we stop recording about the time they're getting out of HeroClix, so I would stop recording, get up there, only to see that they had all left and the store was locked up. You know, it would... There's no reason to get off my ass and do this shit. You know what I mean? It's none. There's nothing in it for me. And that's sad, but that's the way it is. And he's trying to entice me, like, oh, do you like Ninja Turtles? I'm like, kind of. He's like, oh, I've got a bunch of stuff in this set I could give you if you want them. I'm like, dude, they'd be wasted on me, because I'm not playing. He's like, well, I don't know if you're just on a hiatus or if you're quitting. I'm like, Dude, I need a job with a good check and a certain schedule set up, you know, before I'd even consider coming back to Clicks. And right now, that's just not the way things are. But we'll see. We'll see how the job market treats me. Because right now, things are looking good. My bike is running moderately well. I'm doing okay on funds. I'm not rolling in dough, but I actually have a little extra spending money for the past couple months, which is nice. Although I do owe the roommate $50 because I decided to borrow it from him for pet food. The original plan had been to go to Amscot and pull that shit out, and he's like, well, how much do you need? I'm like, oh, I need 50. He's like, well, shit, borrow it from me. That way you don't have to fuck around with Amscot. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That saves me $16, you know? It's one thing to come up with 50. It's another thing to come up with 66, you know? But yeah. So I've got that going for me. The bike kind of works as much as it ever does, really. Let's get some of these. I don't like it being dark in here. Actually, wait. Let's do this a little different, shall we? Because that's a thing. There we go. That's better. Yeah, things are going a little better. I've got, like, again, I'm trying to say again, my bike is more or less working. I've got my new monthly bus pass for $11. It is very useful. I have what's the word? I went to vocational rehab. I'm still going through the process, but I went, you know. I just had my Psych eval today, which, as I just told you, went pretty well. And because I'm in Vocary, I am on my way to potentially having a job soon, which is really nice. And just in general, things are starting to go my way more than they previously would have. Alright, so I've got some more beetroots. Really? Carrots already? Okay, cool. Well, plant some more carrots. I'm cool. I'm hip. Oh, more beetroots already. Okay, cool. We'll just sit here and farm for a little bit. I actually do like farming in this game. It's just something that, because I've been on, you know, casual, I haven't needed to do, so I haven't done it. You know what I mean? But I do like the farmingness of farming. I like, you know, having my little fields and growing them in. Of course, pretty soon I'll have this full up enough that I'll have, you know, 64 of everything growing in at all times. I'll have more food than I'll ever know what to do with. And then, of course, I'll start livestocking and whatnot. Nope. Hold on. Hey, shitlords. Hey, shitlords. Come here. Does this still work? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Hey. Chick, 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 chick. Hey, come here. See this? I don't think it works on you anymore, but you see it anyway? Come here. Chick, chick, chick. You fucker. shit. That works. Okay, cool. Want to come here, or you want to be food? Fuck it, you're food. Alright, this is your one chance. Get in there. Nope, nope, nope. God damn it. Nope. God damn it. Fine. You're all food. I'm amazed that I threw 3 eggs and got 3 chickens. That just blows my goddamn mind. While we're on the subject, hi. You still like this, right? Yeah, you do. Go make a baby cow. Make a cow for Kyrix. There we go. Cool. So yeah, things are looking up for me. I mean, I'm not in the clear by any means, but I'm getting there. Like, I've got vocational rehab going to bat for me. It could still take months before they find me any kind of employment. Hell, it could take a month or two before I even get an appointment to get employment. You know, to even start the process, really. And there's still a lot of other hurdles. I still have the threat of the disability hearing looming in the background, and if that hits before Vocary hits, if that happens before I get vocational rehab, and it shouldn't, I was promised a minimum of a year, and we haven't hit that yet. But if it does before they get me a job, I'm fucked. Because I won't have any income unless I won't have a place to live. And that, as you can imagine, will put a damper in my career opportunities. You know, it's just kind of how that works. There's a lot more coal than I thought I had. Nope, steaks are done. Okay. Cook is a bird. I think beetroot turns into stew. But, yeah, things are looking up for me. I've got the recording with Eisen. I've got other stuff going on. I got a lot going my way at the moment. Got some fun audiobooks to read and whatnot. God damn it, Kyrix, get out the fucking door. Where'd the door go? Get out the fucking door. I gotta be real careful, because this fall is more than enough to kill me. Or at least make me very unhappy. Could have sworn I used to have a gate there, too. Oh look, more food! Hello, food. Gotcha. Oh look, more food. Hello, food. So, Star Wars. God. I got a comment recently on a comment that I left on a video, and the comment was on my side, but it reminded me of the fact that this dumbass conversation existed in the first place. You know, fans of different things like to say, oh, who would win in this? Who would win in this? You know? And, of course, there's so many things of Star Wars versus Star Trek, like which captain's better, which character's better, which this, which that, you know. And who's got the cooler ship, who's got the faster ship, whatever. And someone came up with... First off, this is just the dumbest thing. The dumbest pairing they could have possibly had. And I didn't even watch the video, but from what I gather, it had a dumb ending to it. And the question was, who would win in a fight between the Millennium Falcon and the Defiant? That's so dumb. The fact that that question can be asked shows that you have a fundamental lack of understanding about both fandoms. You know, it's laughable. The comments basically said it best, that Han would take one look at the Defiant and get the fuck out of there. You know? And apparently the guy doing the video did some snarky thing like, oh, well, Han's gonna shoot first, of course. And the fans are like, no, Han would take one look at that thing and hightail it as fast as his engine would take him out of there. Because that is a fucking warship. But it reminds me of... This guy is basically, in a nutshell, the reason I don't read fanfics. I'm not calling this necessarily a fanfic, although it technically is. This is a very short one about a single battle. But I would run into fans and fanfics that have a fundamental lack of understanding about the characters. Like back when I first got into the concept of fanfics. This, by the way, is the reason I don't read fanfics for anything, because back in the day I read some really shitty ones and they kind of ruined it forever. But back when I was first on the internet around 2000Z, I discovered an anime called Ranma 1/2. Kind of famous, not a big deal anymore like it used to be. But it's a lot of fun. And I would read fanfics about Ranma 1/2 that came up, and they would have... One of them was just Ranma just running around, and it's like, oh... It just mentioned something about Kasumi being on cocaine all the time or something, and like, oh, this girl's on this drug, and this girl's on this drug, and I'm like... No? Just no, that's not how that works, you know? And that's what this guy... Again, I never watched the video itself. Because, and you might say, well, why are you critiquing a video that you never even saw? Because I know the ship's involved, you know? This is like saying, who's going to win a fight between a guy with a spear and a guy in a stealth bomber? Who's going to win that fucking fight? And unless the guy with the spear catches the guy in the stealth bomber while he's sitting outside his plane on a fucking smoke break, it's going to be the guy in the stealth bomber every time, because you cannot throw a spear high enough to hit a stealth bomber in the air. Especially, you know, if it's in fighting mode, as it were. So... Oh, that is a... Oh, there's a word for... Oh, spider! That's a spider. Spiders make the slurpy noise. Also, more pumpkins, because mine don't seem to want to grow in. But yeah, it's just... But it's like, oh, Worf gets mad, so he attacks. And I'm like, Worf doesn't open fire on anything until he's told to. Worf is the very picture of discipline when he's at the tactical station. You know? And that's actually part of the problem. That's what led to what's called the Worf effect, where Worf will... Or also the Worf barrage, where basically when Worf gets called in, he gets his ass whipped almost every time, because what happens is the Federation exhausts all non-violent solutions until only violent solutions are left. But by then, their enemy is just so ready for them that nothing they, or specifically Worf, can do means anything anymore. And they get their asses kicked. You know? But the Defiant... And I mean, it's not even just picking a Star Trek ship, it's picking that Star Trek ship. Like, he didn't pick the NX. The NX versus the Millennium Falcon might be an interesting fight. But the Defiant is a fucking warship. And the Millennium Falcon is a drug ship. It is a drug cargo ship. Someone on Facebook basically said it best when they said, this is a fight between a modern U.S. Navy warship, with a full crew and missiles and fighters and fucking torpedoes and shit, versus your weed guy in his really cool van with his buddy riding shotgun with a crossbow. I mean, there is absolutely no comparison. And someone's like, oh, well, the Defiant. Of course the Defiant's going to lose because it gets beaten all the time. I'm like, have you watched Deep Space Nine? Where the Defiant zips in and out of battlefields, taking out multiple Jem'Hadar attack ships? You know? I mean, the Defiant got blown up by the Breen because the Breen had a weapon that literally said, oh, you have no power. You know? And that's what it took to take out the Defiant. It literally took hacks to take out the Defiant. But it's just, you don't know your lore. I'm sorry, you don't. I mean, yeah, the Millennium Falcon's a cool ship, but it's a fucking cargo hauler. It's not built to fight. It can fight, but that doesn't mean it's what it's for. You know? I mean, you can float really well in a car tire, but that doesn't mean it was made for tubing. Or as Chris Rock put it, you can drive a car with your feet if you want to. That don't make it a good idea. Oh, I guess these aren't the full 64s. Oh, well, give me that. Symmetry, damn it. Symmetry. Do you speak it? Okay, I'm a little upset that these beetroots aren't producing more seeds. They're producing plenty of beetroots, but no seeds. And I'm going to be real upset if there were... Okay, good. See, I'm going to be really fucking upset if there were no seeds for this, because kinda want the wheat. Damned if I know why I want the wheat, but I do. But it's just... I'm sorry, there are no comparisons, especially when it comes to Star Trek versus Star Wars technology. And people have the nerve to say, oh, well, Star Wars weapons are so much more powerful. I'm like, no. No, they're not. They're not even remotely powerful. The Star Wars super weapons are more powerful. Yeah, the Death Star, Star Killer Base, the Sun Crusher, those are very powerful. And the only thing Star Trek has even remotely on that level is the Undine, combiner beam, which takes like 8 ships to fire, or the Xindi super weapon. That's the closest thing they have to those two things, both of which are capable of destroying planets. But in every other field, Starfleet literally blows them away. I've gone on record saying that if it's just ship for ship, the NX can take a Star Destroyer. If it's everything on the ship versus everything on the ship, the NX will lose to a Star Destroyer because of the TIE fighters making up the difference. And I stand by that. I've gone on record for that. I fucking stand by that. That is how that fight would go. The Millennium Falcon, it's got some concussion missiles. I want to say like 8. Let's say 8 concussion missiles. Compared to, let's lowball it and say 60 quantum torpedoes. Okay? Concussion missiles and quantum torpedoes, depending, have fairly limited tracking capability. They're not necessarily dumbfire, but they're not going to chase you all over the galaxy either. Okay, the Millennium Falcon has an auto blaster for infantry. If it's on the ground and someone's attacking it, it can whip that thing out and fight back. Cool. It has 2 quad laser cannons, which are really good anti-fighter guns. think anti-aircraft guns. I never thought of them as like that, but that's basically what they are, and that was apparently what they were based off of. Makes perfect sense. The Defiant was the first Federation ship, to the best of my knowledge, to mount phaser cannons. Because up until then, phasers had just been this steady beam that shoots and, zerp, zerp. But the Defiant comes out with what I thought were rapid-fire photons, but were in fact phaser bolts. And these things can put a lot of high-intensity firepower out in a couple seconds. Like, each one of those paired bolts from that thing, keep in mind, each one of them is roughly equivalent to the Enterprise, that is the D. The Enterprise D's single phaser volley, where they shoot the phaser at you, And the Defiant can, in the span that it takes the Enterprise to start and finish firing, hit you with about 15 of those. Oh my! What is this? I am intrigued. Also, cobblestone walls are a thing? What have we here? Oh, I like it. Part of me wants to just bust in through the window, but I'm gonna be polite and look for a door. What is this, a fucking monastery? I'm so used to games that don't spawn in villages and shit because I put in, I didn't update for so long, and I guess it just stopped for a while, that I forgot things like this could even happen. So yeah, this is really cool. I mean, I thought this would just be me questing around, fucking in my place and looking for cool shit, but no, this is legitimately interesting. Wow. The fuck? The shit makes that noise? Is Yoda in here? I swear to God that sounded like Yoda. Whoa! That scared the shit out of me! Fuck you, dude. I found the Church of the Jesus Chicken. That really is the only explanation for this. It's a stupid explanation, but it's the only one I've got. Nom. 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 Close enough. Hi? Goddamn boomer penis. Well, so much for the pretty stuff. It was pretty. Now it's just blurred. Also pretty sure it's getting night out. So that's the problem. There have been so many updates that now there's all sorts of new creatures and I have no idea what they are or what they do. I still remember the first time I ran into a witch. I'm like, what the sh- Oh, hi. Hello, friends. I'm like, what the hell do these do? Oh, hi. Do they grunt now? Yup, they're aggressive now. This is so pretty before I got here. Now it's all fucked. I think that's the creepers making that noise. Hi. Huh, melons. Interesting. Well, if nothing else, I didn't break this place on purpose. It just kind of turned out that way. Not at all what I intended to do, but okay. Oh, they're villagers. Okay, that's cool. Or monk villagers. Fuck it. Going down. Hi. Oh shit, that's a zombie villager. Hi. You are not my friend. Yeah, I did. Shit, that's a vindicator now, apparently. You know what? Fuck it. I don't need any of that. I can go there later. Don't even need the map. Because here's the thing. I've got all the resources I need to rebuild right around here. I mean, yeah, my food's a little bit gone, but that's okay. So fuck it. It's a beautiful thing about setting up such a well-equipped base. So yeah, I'm gonna get downstairs and do some farming. Didn't lose anything really major. And I will see you guys next week, maybe with some news about Vokery. I want to farm first. Or at least get up and look at my farm. I do like my farm, it's pretty cool. Lost a lot of coal, but that's not a huge loss. Lost some wood too, but that's not even a loss. Alright, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.